Hi, I'm Jim Gordon.
I'm Lita Leapin.
And welcome to another edition of Our City Tonight.
We are out here on Hydra's patio. It is finally beautiful weather and summer is upon us.
That's right. We're going to head inside through the wine bar up to Hydra, second floor restaurant, and get going with Our City Tonight.
This segment is sponsored by Angel's Envy Port Finish Bourbon. When other bourbons stop, Angel's Envy finishes.
Well, our old friend Adam Dumet joins us. He was, of course, on our show for the first time last summer to talk about this wonderful bourbon, Angel's Envy. And Adam is I love this title, you're a whiskey guardian. Boy, that's fantastic.
That's it.
You guys have great titles.
We're very proud of everything we do at Angel's Envy.
We are here on the patio at D6, part of the Douglas Hotel. A lot of people may not know that, but D6, of course, is part of the Park Casino Complex, which is where we are. So on the patio right now. And Adam, we're going to start with a great patio summer drink. It's a beautiful, beautiful summer day out here. What am I about to sample?
So this is off of D6's brand new summertime menu. It's called the Better Left Undone.
Okay.
And it pours Angel's Envy Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey finished in port barrels of orange curacao, some cherry brandy, topped off with some seltzer.
Walk me through what Angel's Envy is doing now in terms of creating more, let's call it options for drinks. I mean, I love the fact that we're sitting on a patio and in 2023, bourbon is an option if used correctly.
Absolutely. I think that what's so great about Angel's Envy is how much versatility that we have when it comes to not only our products, but how our products can be enjoyed.
Right.
Whether you want to enjoy it neat or on the rocks or in a spritzy cocktail like this, I think it's perfect. Specifically for the spritz during the summertime, having a light and refreshing beverage, but then still giving it that backbone of the bourbon, and Angel's Envy being 86.6 proof or 43.3% alcohol. That's just a little bit lighter than most that you're gonna find on the market, and that really allows itself to have more of a capability of awesome cocktails.
Of course, as I mentioned earlier, you were on the show last summer. For those people that may have missed that episode, let's give our viewers a little background on Angel's Envy.
Yeah, so great. So Angel's Envy is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in port barrels. We were founded by Lincoln Henderson and his son Wesley in the late 2000s in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. What we do is finished whiskeys. Every single whiskey that Angel's Envy makes is a secondary finish. Now what that means—
What does that mean?
What that means, Jim, thank you for asking. After we age in brand new oak barrels, we transfer to a secondary cask. Now in the case of our flagship, Angel's Envy Port Finished Bourbon, after those 4 years in brand new oak, we finish for another 4 to 6 months in port barrels.
Wow, this is just delightful. I'm going to continue drinking this. Of course, before we move inside for our second cocktail, your product, Angel's Envy, available across BC and Canada?
We are. For just about a year now, we've been available across Canada, from Vancouver Island to Newfoundland, and across British Columbia in BC Liquor, and all of your local LRS stores.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're going to sample this and then move inside, try another cocktail.
All right,
Cheers.
sounds great. Cheers, Jim.
Well, Adam and I have moved inside D6 now, and Adam, I was saying to you off camera that this kind of cocktail that I'm about to sample eagerly, to me was always about rainy days, but that's not the case anymore.
I mean, with a classic old fashioned, in all of my years as being a bartender or being an Angel's Envy whiskey guardian, an Angel's Envy old fashioned is perfect in the morning, noon, the afternoon, and the night. Sunny days, whether it's raining. It's a classic and is honored as such, and D6 makes it as classic as possible.
Talk about what goes into a cocktail like this. I mean, it's, as you said, it's a classic. You can't fiddle around with it at all, really, but there is some creativity there.
I mean, as long as you follow the classic structure of an old fashioned, and that being water, sweetener, bitters, and a spirit, obviously in our case using Angel's Envy Kentucky Straight Bourbon finished in port barrels, then you have all types of creativity. Whether instead you want to use sugar or you want to use maple, which goes really well with our product, or honey or an agave, that type of creativity, the road is endless as long as you use that classic structure of spirit, sweetener, water from the ice, and bitters.
I always like to ask you, and we did this last summer when you were on the show, about just the increase in young people wanting classic cocktails. Have you seen that with Angel's Envy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Angel's Envy's whole thing is embracing progress but honoring tradition and having a classic structure, and people really want to know why things have happened and where they're going from there. I think in the years before I was drinking, in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, cocktail culture really took a bit of a nosedive.
It did, very true. Yeah.
And now the classics are on their way back, and what we just talked about, having that classic structure, but once you have that structure, you can go forever.
This is a lovely drink, which I'm going to continue to sip. When we come back later in the show, Adam and I are going to move downstairs to another restaurant here in the hotel known as Honey Salt. Cheers. Congrats.
Cheers. Enjoy.
Lovely drink.
This wine moment is sponsored by Vina Carmen, Chile's first winery.
Well, here at the Vancouver International Wine Festival, I am so lucky to be interviewing Pablo Prieto of Carmen Wines, Vina Carmen, beautiful winery established in 1850. You guys have been around a long time, and I know in Canada, it's a very recognizable wine. So tell us a little bit about the history of this winery.
For sure. Thank you, Lita, for having me here. It's a pleasure. So Carmen Winery was the first ever winery in Chile, founded in 1850, as you said, by this guy named Christian Lanz. And he loved his wife too much, and he named the winery after her.
I think that's never
Carmen.
loving your wife too much.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's really good. That's really sweet, and that's a good story just to start with it. And we've been sitting in the Alto Maipo Valley for years now. We've been delivering great wines, and Canada knows it. So
They do, because you are telling me the Carmenere is the best selling in Canada.
Yeah,
so
it
We're
is.
going to start with this one. Talk a little bit
Yeah.
about this particular wine.
well, for sure you're a little bit familiar with the story of Carmenere.
Yes.
It was this variety that was brought into Chile as Merlot back in the days before Phylloxera. Then it was brought from France, and in France the Phylloxera attacked and killed every grape there, and they lost the Carmenere. But we had it in Chile as Merlot. But we knew it wasn't Merlot, it was something different. We used to call it late Merlot because it's the last grape to ripe, and Merlot is one of the first.
okay. Interesting.
Yes, yeah. So in our vineyards, in our state, in Alto Maipo, we started studying it. So we were the ones to rediscover for the first time the Carmenet.
Perfect. I'm going to taste this one, top selling in Canada.
Yeah.
Go on to your Cab Sauv.
Yeah. So the Cabernet Sauvignon, it's a great variety, as you know, and it was brought in Chile after Carmener. And we were sitting when the winery was founded in Alto Maipo, which is the best place to grow Cabernet Sauvignon in Chile. So we are sitting in the third terraces of the Maipo River that makes a unique soil composition that Cabernet just loves it.
Okay.
And we've been doing Cabernet for a long time, and we know how to do it.
Oh, you do, definitely.
Well, we want to show the Cabernet a little bit more into a fresher style, but not losing the elegance and the structure and the silky tannin that Cabernet has.
This is another one of the top selling cabs in Canada.
Yeah, so the Carmenere is the top selling Carmenere in Canada.
Yes.
And the Cabernet Sauvignon is the top selling Cabernet in the Grand Reserva tire.
Wow. Okay, quickly, as we have a little bit of time left, tell us about this one.
Yeah, so the Lanz Alto Fahuel, the name of it, just to be quick, you heard the name of the founder is Christian Lanz. So we forget about this guy for about 170 years. We wanted to pay tribute to him, so we named the wine after him.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah, and this is a blend based in Cabernet Sauvignon. It's 74% Cabernet Sauvignon, 15% Cabernet Franc, 8% Petit Verdot, and 3% Petit Syrah. But it comes from the hills of Los Andes, so that brings up a little bit more different style of wine. It's much more floral and red fruit, and it's bright and has an explosion in the mouth with reactive tannins.
Wonderful. Very nice, lighter. These
Yeah.
ones more in your face.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Pablo,
you.
for spending some time with our city tonight. Delicious wines, and I definitely see why they're top selling.
Yeah.
So if anyone hasn't recognized this name in the liquor
Yeah.
store,
They have to go
they're
for
going to
it.
rush out and
Yeah.
have one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This wine moment was sponsored by Vina Carmen, Chile's first winery. A reminder, you can email us your thoughts and questions at info@ourcitytonighttv.com. Also, don't forget you can still reach us through Instagram and Facebook. This wine moment is sponsored by J-Lore Vineyards and Wines, celebrating 50 years of great winemaking.
Well, back as it mentioned with another wine moment here at the Vancouver International Wine Festival. I am joined by Shauna Zeleny, who is the Vice President, International Sales for a well-known winery, J-Lore Vineyards and Winery. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Jim. It's a pleasure to be back in Vancouver.
It is a pleasure to have you here because I know how popular your wine is, and I've got several friends who swear by your red, and that's all the red they'll drink. So what we want to do is introduce some of our viewers to some other wines you have, but let's start with some of your big sellers. I think this one right here, the J-Lore Hilltop Cab Sav. Let's start with this beautiful bottle of wine.
Gorgeous, thank you. Yes, so many, Canada and British Columbia has been very kind to J-Lore. Thank you very much. And many do love the J-Lore 7 Oaks Cabernet Sauvignon. But the next step, if you want to go into something celebratory, would be our Hilltop Cabernet Sauvignon. Affectionately, I call it the big brother to 7 Oaks Cabernet. So it comes from the same region of Paso Robles in California. So you get a similar profile to the Cabernet Sauvignon, but it's a little bit more structured. It's a little bit more complex and offers just a little bit more complexity and richness, a little drier. So it's a wonderful Saturday night Cabernet, or if you're celebrating a birthday or anniversary, it's just the next level from 7 Oaks Cabernet.
I have to ask, as we're doing with everybody, what would you be pairing that with?
Oh goodness, you could do that with a gorgeous ribeye, nicely seasoned ribeye, a great lamb chop. Would be just beautiful with the wine.
Let's talk about this second red here. This is the Pure Paso proprietary red. I did not know of this one. Give us some background on this wine.
Yes, this is a little bit newer wine for J-Lore. We're in our third vintage. And the name, the bottle is just gorgeous. Pure Paso, obviously it is from the Paso Robles AVA. This one is a blend. It's based on Cabernet Sauvignon and has approximately 30% Petit Syrah blended in. So the Petit Syrah gives you just depth of color, rich, definite, very rich, a little bit robust flavor, a little bit rustic. So it can go with something grilled, a smoked meat, a stew, something a little bit spicy. And it's just been very well received. The package is beautiful, a departure from the normal J-Lore package, so it's been fun.
Not that I'm not excited about these wines, because I am a fan, but when I met with you the other day here at the festival, you said, Jim, you've got to try our Chardonnay, and I said to you, Shauna, I don't know anything about your whites. And then you had me try the Chardonnay, and I'm now a fan. Tell our viewers about this, because again, you're known for your reds up in this area, but this is a lovely Chardonnay.
Yes. Well, our winemaker, Kristen, has done a beautiful job just tweaking the Chardonnay to give it beautiful balance. It's grown in the Arroyo Seco, a cooler region of California, which is actually where J-Lore first planted. Very cool climate due to the influence of the Monterey Bay. So we have a nice long growing season. It gives us great backbone of acidity. So the Chardonnay is a Chardonnay for non-Chardonnay lovers, if you will. It's got great, rich fruit character, bright acidity, and a beautiful balance. It has a little bit of oak aging, but it's not overdone, so it just adds complexity to the wine, if you will. So
I cannot wait until next week when I'm turning some of my J-Lore red fans onto your Chardonnay, because they're going to love what they taste. Before we let you go, this is such a great story of your founder. Give our viewers a little background on where you are, of course, in California, but it's a great story of one man, Jerry Lore.
Jerry Lore, yes, we were founded J. Lore. There is a Jerry behind the J. We are still family owned and operated to this day. It is the Lore family. All of Jerry's children are involved. And on we go. Jerry first planted in 1972. The winery was founded in 1974. So we're celebrating our 50th anniversary next year. Jerry was raised as a farm boy and ended at Stanford University in civil engineering. So you put farming and engineering together, and almost 2,000 hectares later, you have J. Lore Vineyards and Wines.
It's a great success story, and I love, nothing against other, say, corporate wineries, but I love that you mentioned that it's still family owned and the kids are all still involved, and that's always a great story. So I know you're really busy. You have very popular wines here. It's great to have you stop by and see us, and I appreciate you stopping by and letting our viewers know about this. And again, check out the Chardonnay. It's Shauna Zeleny, Vice President of International Sales, J. Lore Vineyards and Winery. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. It's a pleasure to be here.
This wine moment was sponsored by J. Lore Vineyards and Wines, celebrating 50 years of great winemaking.
Hi, I'm Carrie.
I'm Jason. You're watching Our City
Tonight.
Well, earlier, Adam and I were upstairs at D6. We are now downstairs, ground level, at another wonderful restaurant called Honey Salt, where you also have a spectacular cocktail. Tell us what we're about to drink. I've already had a sip, folks. That's why I'm saying spectacular.
I'm taking my time. This is brand new to the Honey Salt summertime menu. It's called the Port of Angels, and it's Angel's Envy port finish bourbon.
Okay.
Elderflower liqueur, port wine, top with some ginger beer and a little bit of fresh lemon. Zesty, spicy, bold. Bourbon comes through on the finish really nice.
Oh, what is nice. What you guys, I think a lot of brands are doing is I think maybe the word is welcoming. Creating a more of a welcoming to more new bourbon drinkers by creating different options in terms of what they can sample, this being a great case. That's obviously something you guys have planned and have been working on for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Angel's Envy, we come in at 86.6 proof or 43.3% alcohol. That was on purpose. A lot of the bourbons that you're gonna see, like I said, are up in that 45% alcohol range, which is a little bit hot. We like to keep ours a little bit lighter, and that was on purpose to bring out those port notes and to keep it a little bit soft and a little bit more delicate on the palate.
We talked upstairs at D6 earlier in the show about the history of Angel's Envy. Everybody successfully has to look forward. Where do you see things moving this year, next year, and beyond?
Well, that's a great question, and we're really, really excited. For the first time since our founder, Lincoln Henderson, was our master distiller, we have a new master distiller at Angel's Envy, a gentleman named Owen Martin, and he joins us from an American single malt background.
Right.
And Owen is super excited to continue crafting the future of bourbon at Angel's Envy.
It's such a competitive market. You and I have talked about this before. You mentioned it last summer on the show about just getting your brand out there. Obviously a very good brand, but it's still competitive. What is some of the things that you look at doing outside you're already doing to kind of get people to say, yeah, try that brand?
I think it all comes down to the Whiskey Guardian program. You know, we've been the envy of a lot of other brands out there, not just in bourbon, but in other spirit categories as well, of the way that our programming works as far as brand ambassadors and Whiskey Guardians. Everyone's a bartender that is a Whiskey Guardian, and it's really building that out from the ground level.
Got to say, and you have been a superb bartender in this town. It's in a suit jacket now, folks.
Moving
Very
on up,
nice. Any last things you want our wonderful viewers to know about Angel's Envy?
you know what? Always look back at 500main.com and find out what's coming next. We've always got a new cellar series and a cask collection that comes out every year. And keep up with it because we're always crafting the future of bourbon and looking to see what's next.
Yeah, we should also say that available here in BC and across Canada.
Yeah, your BC liquor stores and your local LRS store as well.
Well, it has been a pleasure to have you back. You got to make a summer habit of this. You were on last summer, actually, a season. Okay.
That's the versatility of Angel's Envy.
I would like that very much. Adam Dumet is a whiskey ambassador. I keep saying you guys have great titles, honestly, for Angel's Envy. Here at D6 and Honey Salt here, we should say in the Park Casino in the Douglas Hotel, but it's right downtown Vancouver. Can't miss it. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Thanks Cheers.
This segment was sponsored by Angel's Envy Port Finish Bourbon. When other bourbons stop, Angel's Envy finishes.
Well, we hope you're enjoying the show. We just want to take a moment to let you know you can reach us on all of our social media platforms, Facebook page, as well as Instagram. Send us any ideas you have or comments. We always love to hear from our viewers.
Also, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, past episodes, and it really helps us when you like and you actually join and become a member of the Our City Tonight YouTube channel.
Subscribe.
Subscribe is a word I was going to use, yes. You know what we're talking
Well
about.
done, Jim.
Thank you. Good thing I'm on TV where words aren't important. Back to the show. Well, our old friend Chris is back with us here at Hydra. Chris, we're in mid-June, but that does not mean you cannot drink red wine. Case in point, what you have in front of us here. What are we talking about today?
Welcome back, Jim.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to give our audience a little quick Greek wine education.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are afraid to try Greek wine.
That's a good point. Most people, including myself, until we started filming here, I didn't know anything about Greek wine.
Greek wine, I find very much like Italian wine, where there's lots of little indigenous grapes that really don't grow anywhere else.
Okay.
But as well, like Italian wine, they actually kind of parallel a little bit. This is Aioritico, okay, which is from the Nemea PDO, which is one of the big regions in Greece. Just known for kind of red fruit and spice, almost like Barbera.
Okay. Oh, okay.
This, from a region called Nassau, this is not specifically from that region. I brought this as an example of Zino Mavro. Zino Mavro is a huge grape in Greece, very much like Nebbiolo
that's
or,
what I have
or
here,
Barolo.
yeah?
This is what we have in front of us here, Jim. Now, this, like I said, it's like it drinks very much like a Nebbiolo or like a Barolo. So it is a bigger fruit and food-driven wine, like that kind of soft.
Me want more.
That's that soft sour cherry and a little bit, tannic structure, backbone, right?
Yeah. What would you pair? Let's start with this one we're just sampling. What would you pair this with?
This is perfect for lamb, souvlaki. This will work well with feta cheese, right? Because it's got nice high acid. This is easy. This is actually probably even easier, a much broader spectrum of pairings. What I really wanted to talk to you about, though, is my favorite Greek wine story, which is all based around a grape called the Sirtiko.
Is this the one you have off camera? Chris comes.
So yes, what I really wanted to talk to you about is a lovely white from Greece called Assyrtiko. Assyrtiko is born in a region called Santorini, which is a little island off the south coast of Greece. This is a beautiful region where it's all volcanic soil. It's island. It's very warm. It's very dry, arid, right? The grapes need to be trained into a very unique vine assembly. They train these into a circular motion into like a little basket. And this is to protect it from the harsh wind and also to allow the sea mist to kind of be captured in this little basket and actually provide some water to the fruit. The grapes grow on the inside of this basket. I hope we can show a little demonstration of our basket-trained vines. But it's such a unique and beautiful presentation. You don't see it anywhere else in the wine world, and it's very cool. The other thing about Assyrtiko, what I learned from talking with people from Santorini, 25 to 40-year-old vines are young. They a lot of times will let these vines grow for as much as like 100 years. The vines are going down 25, 30 meters into the ground, into a volcanic soil, pulling up all this beautiful kind of minerality. And of course, the mist from the sea collecting gives it beautiful salinity, salty kind of nature. And these vines, they struggle, right? And this is how you build character in anyone. You, me, vines, we need to struggle.
Points. Okay, and so this is just looks like a perfect wine to enjoy. We're into June already, of course.
This I want you to have with our whole salt-baked fish, because I think that is the perfect pairing.
Frank moves very fast, doesn't he? Yeah. All these wines available now and throughout the summer, Chris?
Correct. Actually, I have some beautiful higher-end Santorini Assyrtiko coming onto my list shortly.
Nice. How often do you guys change the wine here?
We have probably 200 labels or more on our list, so it's a constantly evolving thing. Obviously, with that many labels, you can't keep everything in stock forever.
Yeah, sure,
So you have to replace and replenish and renew.
Okay.
This has some lovely kind of tropical notes, a little kind of passion fruit and lime peel. Like I said, lots of minerality from the volcanic soil, lots of salinity from the sea air. It almost drinks a little bit like, almost like a Chablis,
Oh, goodness, that's nice.
but with a little bit more tropical nature.
Oh, that's lovely, Chris. Hey, it's Chris here at Heater. We've got the cameras rolling. Thank you for joining us, pal. These wines are all available here at Heater
Pleasure.
this summer.
Thank you so much for
We
having
appreciate
me.
you always coming on and providing us with wine.
Of course,
Beautiful.
my pleasure.
Closed captioning and other promotional considerations provided by Hamilton High Street Senior Residence, Richmond's newest senior living community. Well, as we always do, time to wrap up this edition of Our City Tonight. Lita, where are we? We're back where we started.
We're back where we started on Hydra Restaurant's patio. It's so beautiful. What a great day.
It's great to have the patio open here, and of course, just inside is the wine bar, and upstairs where we film a lot is the restaurant. Come check this place out. And we should say, right, like a baseball's throw from here, their sister restaurant, Alouette Bistro.
Alouette has a great patio too, and just great restaurants to be in the summer.
That's right. Well, that's it for this episode. I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Leapins.
We will see you on the next edition of Our City Tonight. Don't forget to check out past episodes and individual interviews, all on the Our City Tonight YouTube channel. The Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.